What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are. It's the 24th day of June, and we're sitting at about 105.6K, 8 hours, 30 minutes left in the day. We're going to start to get away from the news, okay? I'm sure we're all aware of the situation that's going on in the Middle East. You know, we've talked about it basically daily for the last week, and that's just not my style. Normally, I don't like to talk about the news because the news, as much as we like to pretend it impacts the markets, I don't think it impacts it really too much. I mean, maybe a quick day or two of a scare, maybe a weekend dump. But then when the week comes back along, everything regulates and gets back to normal, right? And it's really there. It's really meant to throw you off. And I feel like it did throw me off too. So let's just, the one time I talk about it, you know, I was bearish at the low. So let's stay away from the news. Does that make sense? It's not there to help you. It's definitely how many people, I wonder, panic sold over the past 3 days. Now we didn't panic sell, thankfully, right? Let this be a lesson, a point of experience for anybody who might have gotten shaken out of the markets, right? Maybe you bought the recent highs, whatever, and you sold the recent lows, and now you're buying back in after yesterday's pump across various cryptos that you might have sold. Man, not a good position to be in, especially because most of them will probably pull back from now or from their highs. Most of them probably have pulled back from their highs. But a good little mix of green and red, man. Syrup is doing well. Syrup is just a freaking unstoppable. You guys want to see this thing real quick like this? It just doesn't stop. I've been calling for the pullback for so long, and it just keeps pulling me around. This one, there was no news. I just got this one wrong the old-fashioned way. But anyways, let's go to Bitcoin here. Syrup, man. Very interesting DeFi project, that's for sure. Still low enough market cap where it could see 100x, uh, but it's so far gone at this point that I'm looking elsewhere. Anyways, Bitcoin here at 105.6K, high to low. Come on now, there we go, high to low. Pulled back to the 786 found support. You're still, whenever you consolidate, guys, around the 786, 886, or the 100 area, the one right here, right? On the fibs, I'm talking about these numbers here, the 786, 886, these little lines. When you consolidate like this is anything but bearish. Anything but bearish, my friends. And we are likely, so typically, we expect that you find resistance at the 1272. You come down, you find support down here, you go up, you find support down here. It's kind of like that, and you get a nice little parallel channel, right, coming up, something like that, right? Whenever you consolidate like this, I just kind of throw the 1272 out the window. So understand, as boring, as trying, as volatile as this range has been over the past, I don't know, how long has it been now, like a month? Just over a month. As volatile as it's been, as disheartening as it's been at times, and exciting as it's been at times, the real excitement is just about the start, guys. We're not stopping at 120K. I think that this next run is going to catch a lot of people off by surprise, just like this last run did, right? Every single step of the way, everybody, every major YouTuber was calling for pullbacks every step of the way. And every step of the way here, we were like, no, we're not getting any pullbacks, you guys. You got PTSD because of this. You think that every pump means we have to pull back, but we already did the pullback. We did that. We need to run. Bitcoin, when it runs, this is what it looks like. It doesn't pull back. No. What, you pull back a little bit, but no, we don't get these bigger pullbacks. No, right? When it runs, this is what it looks like. You don't get a pullback. That doesn't happen, right? We're consolidating a little bit like we did back here. That's what we're doing right now, right? We're consolidating a little bit. But again, this consolidation right here, I think it's going to catch a lot of people off surprise because if you take a high to low, I'm not the only person that has access to fibs. There are analysts who don't even use fibs predominantly. And this might be where their fault comes in because they don't know this little secret, I'll tell you. And I've already told it to you, actually, but we'll go over it again. Is that they'll take the high to low and say, oh, there's the 1272. We will likely find resistance there because it's a new high. Because there's not too many indicators that can accurately predict, outside of measure moves and patterns, accurately predict new highs, right? I mean, maybe trend lines, stuff like that, but it can be dicey. Logarithmic regression. There are plenty of indicators that call for new highs on macro trends, but we're talking about cycle ending highs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the next high. I think a lot of people are expecting 115 to 120K, and I'm telling you guys, we're going to rip. And here's the secret, right? Here's the secret sauce that most people who maybe the fibs aren't their bread and butter, it's just a side piece of analysis they use every now and then. When you consolidate like this, you're not stopping at the 1272. You're not, I mean, maybe for like a second, maybe you like stop for like 3 days, but you're not stopping there. Or maybe you stop like this, right? But you're not going to pull back and find resistance, back test. I'm going to predict the future right now, and it has to do with the price, but it has to do something with also what people are going to say. Okay, we're going to get to 121K, and everybody, all the big YouTubers, the ones that have been right, the ones that have been wrong, it doesn't matter. They're all going to call for a pullback to about 111K to back test prior resistance, prior all-time high resistance for support, and then move up, because it just sounds right and it makes sense. And it does make sense. But Bitcoin doesn't make sense when it moves up. It defies gravity. It does the opposite of making sense. And that's what we're going to get, is a nonsensical move that just rips right on up to probably at least, right? We're consolidating here. When you do this, and again, what do I know? But the fibs are my bread and butter, man. This is all I do. We haven't talked about any other indicators, right? We're not even talking about any other fibs. We're just using this one fib. We're going to go over some other fibs in a second too. And the fibs don't lie, man. They don't tell no fibs. I've been doing this for 9 years, right? I've been doing technical analysis for 9 years, guys. And this is my bread and butter, is the fibs. So what do I know? But the 1414, typically, whenever you hit the 1414, if we're not stopping at the 1272, we're going to the 1414. And if we go there, you typically don't stop right at the 1414. You actually wick above it, and then you come down and close below it. That's what you do. That's the commonality. That's the common thing that you do. I don't know if commonality is the right word there, but that's the typical prospect that we would have here. So from here, 105.6K, when we move up, and maybe we still move down first and then we move up, right? The people who are calling for a bear market or 50K Bitcoin, whatever, maybe they'll have their cake for a day, but they're not going to get to eat it. Unfortunately, we're the ones that are going to eat it, man, because even if it goes down, even if Bitcoin goes below 100K again, we're still going to come up, and this all still remains true, okay, with this consolidation, okay? This is a very bullish bounce off the golden ratio if that happens. 94, 97K, it's not a problem, okay? We're likely going to bounce and go to the 1414 at least. Typically with the 1414, you go just above there. So I'm saying 130K. And whenever I say at least, I do mean at least. This is your next target. This is the minimum target. We really could, from here, just rip straight on through. And who knows, man, before the 15th of July, like 3 weeks from now, we could be at $140,000 and prepping for significantly higher prices. I don't think it's going to be a straight shot all the way up, but I do think it's going to be more bullish than people are giving it credit for and anticipating. There's a lot of institutional and government high value entities that have been buying over this past month, you guys. It's like there's an arms race, right? It's to buy crypto. And people always say the media's there to distract you, right? What's Iran and U.S., like, what's this war have to do with? Like, it was a 12-day, 13-day war. Maybe not. Maybe we're still continuing. You never know. But again, I don't care about the news. I'm just talking about the idea that the news is there to distract you. I think they're there to distract you from the real thing that's going on, and not that stuff isn't real either. That institutions all around the world are accumulating Bitcoin in mass, you guys, in mass. That's big shit. This is big. We're talking about financial wealth being transferred from traditionally backed assets to digitally backed assets, right? Like this is a big deal. It's a shift in the economy around the world, and it's happening before our eyes, but nobody's watching because there's a different show going on, right? And it's more exciting. They don't want the show about the money. They want the show about war and blood. That's what they want, right? They're distracted with that, and maybe there's other things that they're distracting from too. I'm sure I've probably triggered some conspiracy theorists in the comments already. And I love a good conspiracy, but I'm telling you, my conspiracy, they're distracting from the true thing of wealth and value that's happening right now. There's mass accumulation. So absolutely, revolving back to the main point of this conversation, we're going to see a massive move. Something that's stronger than anything we saw on this move up. And that was a pretty strong move. I think we can all agree, right? That it just was relentless, kept going up. We're going to see something even more fierce than that, taking us to 130 to 140K in early July, mid-July, right? 3 weeks from now. And then going into the end of July, we should be reaching higher. I think by the end of August, we'll be reaching even higher than that. This 180K target probably doesn't happen in July, guys. I mean, unless we move, let's see, from here. It's not that we can't make that kind of move, right? Let's just see. Can we make that kind of move? I mean, okay, yeah, maybe we can. We can, right? All we got to do is move a little bit faster than this, and if my theory is correct, moves only get bigger and faster as we progress through the cycle. So actually, it is still very possible that by the end of July, that we do see that move. Okay, so I take it back. But if not July, don't get your feelings hurt. It's going to happen, right? I love it whenever a target happens like a month or 3 months later than I anticipated, and people are like, "Ha ha! Finally, we got here after 3 months." It's like, yeah, but we're still making money. Like, what? You want to give me crap? You were the bear that said that you sold. You sold because I said it was going up. You sold the low, and now we're up here. It took a little bit longer than we intended, but we're still making money. We had longer to accumulate. And you best believe, if you're following this channel, I advocate for accumulation. I very rarely advocate for the sell, man. Very, very rarely. Let's look at some short-term stuff real quick, see what we're dealing with. Is this the real deal? Are we coming down? We'll end this video, all right? 1 hour time frame here. Man, I got terrible sleep. I mean, I got really good sleep last night, but I feel like I could sleep another 4 hours, man. I didn't get good sleep the nights before, and I think I didn't catch up on it, but I'm just surprised. I feel with it this morning. For how unwith it I feel from my sleep deprivation, I feel pretty with it this morning. I don't know. Low to high. Low. Come on now. Low to high. That's a bullish phase of consolidation right there, guys. I mean, you're not even at the 2-3. This is pretty damn bullish. That's actually really nice. Look at how it's exactly what we looked for. So yesterday, whenever we were talking about this, right, or last night, like 12 hours ago, whenever I mentioned this, we were saying we'd get a higher low in the RSI. I didn't mean to curve it like that, but a higher low in the RSI. I thought that'd pull the price back. What we did is we just moved sideways and we cooled the RSI off. This is the most bullish phase of consolidation because you cool off your indicators while not cooling off the price at all, right? The last time that you were here at this point in the RSI, you were right here and you moved up that much, right? So I mean, you're here, you're cool off enough to where you can make another drive up higher like that. We're at new all-time highs. We're at new all-time highs in 5 hours, you guys, 6 hours. Maybe by the end of today, the 24th of June, within the next 8 hours and 16 minutes, we're at new all-time highs. This could be the day. And if it's not today, it's probably this week, right? Like we're going to be at new all-time highs by the end of this month. That's happening, right? That's been a prediction we've had at least for a while now. So that one at least will hopefully come true. What I will say is looking at the 1 hour time frame, I like how here we bounced immediately. Here we bounced immediately. Here we bounced immediately, right? I don't like this, how we're kind of meandering. It's a little bit different, and I do like to say different behavior begets different results. So hopefully we don't break out of this uptrend. I'm anticipating that this uptrend in the 1 hour, why can't I draw a straight line, man? This uptrend in the 1 hour RSI, I'm hoping that this maintains until we either get one more higher high and then we form some bearish divergence. That'd be ideal. Or maybe at the very least we form some bearish divergence here. Maybe we stop at the current all-time highs, right? We get that similar move that we had back here. Stop right there at the current all-time highs around here, and then kind of consolidate, and then we make another run, right? We let the RSI kind of cool off a little bit more, and then we make another run, something like that, going into like the end of the week or something. I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour RSI does have hidden bearish divergence. You've got a higher high in the RSI with a lower high here. That is hidden bearish divergence. But you haven't really moved back. I mean, like this could have been it. That little move right there, that could have been it, man. You typically, if you're rejecting here, you would reject. And the fact that you're not rejecting, see, the 1 hour and the 4 hour have been so conflicting this past week. The 1 hour says one thing, the 4 hour says another thing, right? Like here, this little meandering, instead of just bouncing right off this area, gives me a little bit of worry. But here on the 4 hour, the meandering is good. So, like the same thing, right? You should be rejecting. You should be rejecting if you're going to reject, but you're not. You're meandering. So that's actually a good thing. And the 4 hours, more substantial than the 1 hour. So there's definitely a lot of confusion. I'm sure traders are either having a field day if they're interpreting the charts to the right direction, or they're getting wrecked, man, because it's definitely not easy right now. And all the news stuff too, if you're listening to that, it's going to confuse you even more. Here we are with lower lows in the RSI, lower lows in the price, bouncing right off the oversold zone. That's anything but bearish as well, my friends. We basically bullishly engulfed in one day yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 closing days of price action. In one day, we erased 6 days of prices that were closing below. We literally erased a whole week in one day, right? It took us 6 days from this price here to move down to here. And in one day, we went back up to above where that day closed, right? So like six days later, just super bullish, super bullish. Took you 6 days down, one day up. The bulls are clearly in control. It's not the bears, man. It's not the bears. If you're one of those people who's bearish, who thinks that Bitcoin's going to drop to 50K, 60K, 70K, stop it. Stop it. You're going to get yourself wrecked and your friends wrecked, man. Stop it, okay? Just keep it to yourself, right? Celebrate in silence if you get lucky enough for that to happen, but it's not going to happen, right? We're not going down with institutions buying, right? I actually said this in my Discord. I was like institutions are buying in mass. And the retail investors, the plebs of the world, they think that they're going to get a 40% discount on Bitcoin, or a 30%, even a 20% discount. You wish, man. Anytime, the reality is, and we're seeing it in the charts, anytime we're below 100K, the institution's got a hard on for this thing, man. And they're getting their fork and knife ready with their bib on, and they're ready to eat, man. And that's what's happening. They're eating right now. And again, all that to say, I very much believe we're going to see new all-time highs in a very short amount of time. And if it's not by the end of this month, I would be surprised. I'm expecting by the end of the month we will be at new all-time highs. But if we do go down to the 382, which is also, there's a pretty good statistical chance that we go down there just by the way of the fibs here, that 96 to 95K area would likely hold. It's not a problem. Go down there. Find support at the 382. We have not broken any structure. If you hear people say, that's it, we've broken out, we're going down, the bear market's beginning, the bull market's over. Guys, this is actually a very bullish maneuver to bounce off the 382. It's very bullish. And then again, that's where the golden ratio is of this overall. This is the low to high on this fib. That 382 is where the golden ratio is of the high to low here. Low to high right here, that's where the 382 is. High to low, that's where the golden ratio is. So it's multiple bullish areas on the fibs. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know, man. I got nothing else for you guys. I'm just rambling at this point. Okay, so hit the like button, subscribe, please. Hey, thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.